Damba jungde de duje sheba da jumba yanda ban zobe sanje reba dan jazo demba dewar sheba jiden chemba chebo doe kalo joa lana meba lado menam je damba sonje chumden den pejawa shaja toba la chatse lo chulo jazan je oe damba jungde de duje sheba da jumba yanda ban zobe sanje reba dan jazo demba dewar sheba jiden chemba chebo doe kalo joa lana meba lada menam je demba sonje chumde de pejawa shaja toba la chase lo chudo jazan je oe demba chumde de duje sheba da jomba yanda ba zobe sanje reba da jazo demba dewar sheba jiden chemba chebo doe kalo joa lana meba lado menanje demba sonje chumde de pejawa shaja toba la chase lo chudo jazan je oe kanze kanye zo chudam ze sajen de la gomba dumbo ne ngane jiden de na choje zon de zen keba chelan chan ze la namda kunga chodo zo zan wa ishe janso seje lombo da draba jiden sana la me Gombo chuni chelang chan ze lo tsinjo tenpa chime dawe she sindon drawa chela chan se lo dure chunda siba soma chi nyame chi jin chelang chan se lo gombo doje che tenpa tamje chimbe tenpa bo sona yunden jatso jim dishin chelang chan se lo dabin de ja drawa je ge nye zon le doje che do dendam chujo ba jijor chela cha zelo drone droe layan de laba dala radun jenge damba yende de ginde layan cha zelo sonje tola cha zelo choba chela cha zelo ginde chela cha zelo sonla tadu kuja ze chaja uba tanje la shinde kunje dranye je luta baye namgun Chodo debe cha zelo kamara re marmedan Juma zewa chubot Melan loda trenda bun Duje chönam de dara dara Sonam deye tamje sebai Gomba dane chönje drade de Gada nada chive la trup Sebe tole droa droa ra shu Baba gunjo son la cha zelo dige dage teba duje na chumden de jabu ka jagu bombo re la gilonge ginde chembo la chanjo sembe ginde chem Taje dojo de ze chumden de zamo na wa she jawe chuje nam ranje tenye ze la nyambar jozo yan de ze chanjo semba semba chembo paba jere ze wanjo shera je parode chimba zame cheba ni la nambar taje pumbo ngabo te dala yan ranshin je tomba namba tao dene sanje je tu seda demba sharebe chanjo semba semba chembo Papa jere ze wanjola mesori je bokon la la shera je paro do chimba zame cheba cheba deba de jidar la barcha dige je me bada chanjo semba semba Paba Chirezi Wanjo Getseda Demba Share Tade Bula Dige Jeme So Share Pur Reje Puan Reje Kanla La Shera Jebaro Do Jimba Zame Jeba Jebar Deba De Didar Namba Tawa Shade Pumbo Ngabo Teda Ranshin Je Tomba Nambar Yanda Ba Jesu Tao Zo Tomba O Tomba Ni Zo Zo Zole Tomba Ni Jemaye Tomba Ni Le Jan Zo Jemaye No Deshin Do Tsoadan Dujedan Nambar Shebanam Tomba O Share Bo Teda Chedam Je Tomba Ni Tsenye meba, majeba, magaba, trima meba, trima dan jawa, trawa meba, gama meba, o sharebo, tedawe, tomba nila, zome, tsoa me, dushe me, duje na me, nambar sheba me, nawa me, name, lime, yime, zome, drame, trime, rome, reja me, chume, do, mege, kam meba ne, ije kam me, ije nambar shebe, kamje bardo yame, Mareba zeba mebane gashi me gashi sebe paduyan medo dejendo donga wadan kunjong wadan gobadan lame isheme toba me matobayan medo nawena chanjo semba nam toba mebe che sheraje parado chimbala tenje Senla driba mebe traba medo chinjelo le shindo dene nyanyele debe tara chindo dezando nambar shube sanje tamje Parado chimbala dene lana meba yanda ba zobe chanju do ngombar zoba sanje so tedawe na shiraje parado chimbe nga riba chimbe nga lana mebe nga minyamba da nyambe nga dunga damje rabdo shiwa chebe nga Mizuwana demba sheba chade parado chimbe nga meba tiata gade para sangade bodhi soha Samba chimbe dida shiraje parado chimba zamala labar chao dene jomden de denye zendele shende chanjo samba paba jereze wanjola leso shijawa chine leso reje pote de shina reje pote de shin jeda cheje temba shindo shiraje parado chimba zamala cheba Dishin jeba nanjan jiso irang chumden dije dige che ka tsene tseda demba share dode bo chanjo semba sumba chimbo paba jereze wancho deme korde da dan lada mida lama ida trisar jebe jide irang di chumden dije sumba ngombar de do de yata gade para son gade bode so paba kunjo sanje kaye demba chimbe topje mendebe chodanje chere doba jeje meba shewa jeje gere tonda jeju shewa dam medene be chendan chewa dan tumba dreje pezon so jura be tashi de jan ding der dele sho Zonje chedon soje chonan la chanjo bade dane chazo je dage jinso jebe sonanje Dola penjen sanje drobare sho sanje chedon soje chonan la chanjo bade dane chazo je dage jinso jebe sonanje Dola penjen sanje drobare sho sanje chedon soje chonan la chanjo bade dane chazo je dage jinso jebe sonanje Dola penje sanje droba sho.
야야. 아니 대소하는 시기 당한조 아니 알레 동버데라 도시에 가서 가서 감자 사주기 있단다. 그래서는 온종을 간데 영자까마 마스 그 간자 되니 마 아니 가르레스나 르템바냐샤티스 마 감도게 있어.
So then today in this session we will pick up on the short practice of breath meditation that we had in one of the previous sessions. So as such we will start with breath meditation and then we will move on to practice mindfulness, particularly mindfulness of body later on.
최종 다들에 다 감제비 르니 주동다버데 안에 가동 소시 가동 세워난 시나버제 아니 감마제 빙어로데 아니 가르스는 리더 선인자 흘른다버제 아니 가동 세워난 시기 우디야 칼리야가 칼레 마동 아니 가르스는 센디 오칼라 땡도는 들이지네니 마 디스토치는 마 감제하다고 있어.
So then as we have already received the instructions on how to conduct oneself physically in a meditative session, so be mindful to assume the correct physical position. And as always, before we begin to meditate, it is important to pay attention to both our mind and body. Keep the body relaxed, the mind calm, and then we will begin to meditate on our breath.
제정가서 간자디 또 센터사데 오디 칼라도 스테야인데 스텔티스 리파다니 오 징니스마도레 자마타바다와 예나요 저기 생기 리파단산다보디 오 칼라다니 아니 도시에는 마지야 간자노로 해서.
So at this point it is important to remember that the purpose of breath meditation is to place the attention, the whole of our attention on our breath. So as such it is important to immediately approach it with the quality of attention so that the mind stays on the breath. And it doesn't matter if the mind is only able to stay singularly on the breath for only up to counts of 1 or 2, but it is important to place the attention fully on the breath.
Yeah. And there is sunshine. Chetung tate nganzo khatung yangja u jungu gamde yate ane jajun rabu chibi kije che tene tate songa tsukare rese na nganzo tape karaso kare gan jade yade nanje tachi tachi chenpo ye denke te yage ane kare rese na temba nyansha se yate gamde rese ta temba nyansha ke gamde nganzo tane tos chine li temba nyansha te tis chine ma tos chine ane jondachi tos chine ma doya chi insa.
So this is to pick up on what we practiced in one of the last sessions, breath meditation. Now, moving forwards, now we'll begin to practice what is popularly known as mindfulness meditation, and I'll begin to guide you shortly through the different practices of mindfulness, or what we call the 4 foundations of mindfulness.
Chezon ta nganzu naju kare reso ayena temanya sha jesia te kare reso na ani kare reso ayena temanya sha jete kare reso le temanya sha so temanya sha sen temanya sha ani chi temanya sha otus chi temanya sha jete otus chi chag reso.
So then even though it is popularly known as mindfulness meditation, when we look at the actual term that is used, then it relates more closely to close placement of mindfulness. And we talk about the 4 foundations of mindfulness, wherein we talk about mindfulness of body, mindfulness of sensations, mindfulness of mind or thought, and mindfulness of phenomena. Yes.
Chezo ta me ta don de tombo lu temba nya sha son de mi pa de lu mi chani ko lu temba nya sha de mi pa de lu res so temba nya sha de mi pa de so de che sen temba nya sha de mi pa de ane so le jin bi ane sim de so ka res na kono mi pa de che ta chu temba nya sha son de ane lu do so do sim li shin bi ane chu de so. So
then when we look at the 4 foundations of mindfulness, each of them has a different object. So in the context of mindfulness of body, the body itself and its different parts are the object. And the mindfulness of feelings or sensations refers to the feelings that the feelings and the sensations that we experience, and placing the mind on these sensations and feelings. And then mindfulness of mind or mindfulness of thought refers to other than feeling and sensations, all these thoughts that might arise within our mind stream. We take these as the object of meditation. And then lastly, other than body, sensations, and thoughts, then all other phenomena are understood as the object in mindfulness of phenomena.
당한도 대만야샤 소운데 템바스야데 가정한도 가르르서는 시접 심바다고 제로와스 가르르서와 있는 DCB 무부지라 아니 가르르서나 메제반지 게제라 아니 가르르서나 템바스야 되죠.
So now, when we are practicing mindfulness meditation, it is important to identify what exactly is mindfulness. So we need to go back to and refer to our discussions about the qualities and the functions of mindfulness. And in this practice, we are mainly practicing placing mindfulness closely on the object of meditation. And as such, its function, mindfulness functions so as not to allow the mind to forget an object with which it has become familiar.
제도 temba chiteche nyesha seonde 가르르세나 심디 아니 그 미바 가르지 있는 륜다보이나 신디기 미바데 가르 temba디기 미바데 가르지 샤고 그래서는 아니 류데 아니 파르스나 샤고와 인자 temba디 가르르스는 류데라 심디 녀와 자사델 가르르스나 temba디기 미비여데 아니 만도와 아니 심델 샤고 인자 temba nyesha seonde temba데 심델 샤바 temba데기 유데 아니 심데 만족가르르스나 말라바다보지니 아니 temba기티 유데라 아니 pena ta lusu gora o lude ani be mayawan zide badela ani karere ani shabas ni sha sia do tenda bocheres.
So it is important to understand mindfulness properly before we begin to practice. And what exactly is the function of mindfulness in this particular practice? So as we already discussed before, that even though it is simply translated as mindfulness, the actual translation would be close placement of mindfulness. So close placement of mindfulness on the object. And so closely placing the mind or the attention of the mind on its particular object so as not to lose the object in the course of meditation.
제조 다 가서 류 temanyasa mi pa de karres no lu sia de cha de gres tanda lu sia de gazo lilla bojini de se de boja ina karres na ngarazo tanda tudi yage ani zopung shadi de je pongbogi lu zopung de karres na lu sia de on de language chena de gres.
So then mindfulness of body, in the practice of mindfulness of body, we take as our object in meditation the body. Now the body herein can be taken to mean the physical body itself, which is made out of flesh, bone, and so forth.
제도 때레 제단 류때나 더 버치게나 치 류도 농글리스야 디 류기 이완도 뭐부지요데 데모고 왔지 단단 안주 급스 간제야게 미바데 가롱수 주주 뒤베게 ene 폼보다고 아니 다라나 응은지치네 되게 열었어 대지지.
Even though there exists a detailed classification of external body and internal body, but for the purposes of our practice and our discussion, we can simply understand body as our physical body.
어떨때 작도 가서 어때레스 제단 자고 제이나 답변나 대차도 거래 가지고 가르레스 와이나 temanyasha 세운데 농취대소네 시동다고 지와이나 아니 temanyasha 감소다보데 랑기 친이 감소동 지 친이 감소스야데 도스진의 대시지 자온 거래서.
Now, if we look at the specific instructions on mindfulness as opposed to how it is popularly practiced nowadays from the Buddhist perspective, then there is very, very specific practices. For example, you practice mindfulness by placing the mind on the specific characteristics of the object or the general characteristics of the object.
대체 다 대성이 연다라고 지와이나 알아서 때문에서 감동 가르치고 그랬으나 아니 빼나 알아서 가르래서는 샤르지 디지 풍분들 아니 심대니 가르래서는 timbiyote ani de lude ani kadasana mayawachini ani zibatela karere ani timbanyasha siade lutimbanyasha siade oteji timbigi yotela ani sobote lude ani je mayawa ani pen zibatela ani timbanyawa shabas
But now, for the purposes of our practice in this session, we will practice it according to the way it is practiced popularly now, wherein mindfulness is simply understood as meditating on the body and not losing the object as the body in meditation.
So, the lutimanya gaundu, tembati karesana, lutis karesana, only choa, Sigora, that's sympathy chigures, Penelutembanya Shayana, Tombo karesana, and also Timbati Udela, and Pe Suzuki Sobo, Pombote, and Karesana, Timbati Ude, and Karesani, single grace,
So, in this, we must begin to let our experience apprehend the body first in our meditation.
That's those Ganjibe Rambaji Dawayana, Tomboga Sozoki Sendaboti to Jenny, and you Pengola, Deni, Goti, Nikadu, Gioayana, the Timbati did Malawaji, Timbati Zitabato, Jenny, Sembatin Goitela, to Sijani, and Goti Kadu, Giomesiate, and it Timbioti, Simbacini Gang.
So we practice in this manner. When we begin to meditate, we place our mind, we place our attention on the top of our head, and then as we place the attention on the top of our head, whatever appears when we place the attention on the top of our head, the way that the top of our head appears in our mind, We simply place our mind on that.
제또 땅아도 두진마 감자니 리티마니체 감도디마 감자셰 자시 두진마 로기인상.
So now we will actually begin to meditate together.
제또 토마데 다 단다 세와나 저기 심바된 거이 땡랑 샤니 아니 고디 아니 템바티 열라 템바티기 아니 초타와다 보지 고디 템바티기 심바티 티비텔랑 심바된 거이 땡랑 샤니 아니 고디 가두지 메시아데 아니 템바티기 신타바 오토스제고 그래서
So first, simply place the attention of your mind on the top of your head. And whatever appears, when you place your mind on the top of your head, your mindfulness should be able to hold that as the object.
Tene kalitu cinema yon ane simbate yon dongba ngalaja dongba te yon tembate ki sintawazo samno sotaya auto sjego gresa.
Then slowly move downwards. Place your attention on your face. See how it appears to the mind, how the mind experiences it. And then place your mindfulness on that.
Tene tus kale ma yon simbate ndemba la te ane ndemba te yon kale resena ndemba ki sintawa ndemba ki sotawa to sjego gresa simbate ndemba la te.
Then slowly move downwards to your throat and your neck. See how it appears to the mind, and your mindfulness should be able to experience and hold that.
Tene kale ma yon simbate niga la tene ane niga la kanduji yumeseade ane sozogu chotawa zogo gresa.
Then we slowly move downwards to our chest. See how it appears to the mind. And then place our attention, our mindfulness on that.
Tene somebody kale nganzo lapa yin to wala somebody sendi shani lapa yin de ni de ane sendi go chotawa jembate ki sintawa to sogo gresa ateje.
Then slowly move down to your hands. It should be the case that your mindfulness experiences how the hand appears, and that your mindfulness apprehends and holds that appearance.
Ani to sini kale chini maayo simbate toa la sha ani to te ani simbage sotawa dong to chi go rese te ji
And slowly move downwards to your navel.
ni to je simbate yo la yin ni la ja ani la yin de yo to chi ni ni simbage sotaya dong timbage sinte to chi go rese
Then slowly move your attention towards your thighs. Your mind should experience and your mind should be able to see its appearance.
Tene kale simbate ane kumbala tene ane kumbate zonyo ane simbage chotawa so to che ko rese
And slowly move your attention to your feet.
to che chang de ta mini kale ya yo ni yo company ya lao sala simbate de tewaje la de ane la de zonyo simbi chotawa ji to ji mini yak pongran ji de kale ji de ya yang go rese
Now we slowly move our attention back towards our thighs. We should be able to experience it, see how it appears, and place our mindfulness on that.
tene lao sa ni ya yo tewa sala tari to sanja sa to ale sha yo tewa te so simbi chotawa so to ji ne ya yang go rese
Then slowly we move upwards towards our navel and place our attention on that.
tene ya yo tari so na shi ani niga de la simsha yo niga de nga do ani pe sen lo chota sim chota zo go rese
And slowly move upwards to your chest and place your attention on the chest. Experience it, see how it appears, and place your mindfulness on that.
tene ya yo ni tari to demba yo demba de la simba tene ani demba de to ji ne ani simba ki sintawa so ji so go re simba no kota ya
And slowly move your attention upwards to your neck. Make sure your mind experiences it and it apprehends it.
Tene to skale jene yon simba de domba sala sha ani domba te so yon ani simba ke sote ya soko were
And slowly move your attention upwards to your face. Your mind should be able to experience and see its appearance.
Tene kale simba de ngok ten la ja ani ngo te kan du yembe on samba ke sote ya to jin soko were
And slowly move your attention upwards to the crown of your head.
제조 도시진에 내 간작 니가서 심바티 노라 가르레스나 간주 이 소보테서 배 초토와 데텐토와 저 지에도 데라 가르레스나 류템바냐샤스야 돼 오투시진의 연구에서
So this is the manner in which we practice mindfulness of body, wherein our minds must be able to experience each particular part of the body and must be able to place our mindfulness on that part of the body.
제좀 도도다버지네 류템바냐샤 세운디 류데 소속의 간작이 미백이 류데 소속의 산 초태야 삼바텔라 때니 도지진이 선비노나 류데 도지진 초토와지네 데데야텔라 아니 가르레 류템바냐샤 오투스진이 자비열에서
So this is in a nutshell what mindfulness of body is. You begin to place your mindfulness or your attention on each particular part of the body, and then your mindfulness should be closely placed on that experience itself.
제종디 단단디 감동의 가르에서 나간조 안에 temba냐샤 예 temba냐샤 안에 감동세야 돼 어때래서
So this is the manner in which we can practice mindfulness of body.
제종 다테 노시기 아니 가르에서나 초아 temba냐샤 감세야 돼 어때래서 심비기 땡라 아니 초아 가르에네 데 심바디기 아니 류기 땡라 다 초아리 가르죠이나 데 심바디기 승태야 지니 심바텔라 데니 감자데야 데 가르레 아니 초아 temba냐샤스 오토스진의 연구에서
Now, similarly, when we are talking about the mindfulness of sensations, now in this practice we begin to place our mindfulness or our attention on the sensations or feelings that we experience when we place our mind from each part of the body to the next.
제동 다제당 강조 초아텔라 지자네 초아텔라 레임라고 숨여래서 초아대와 아니 동아 아니 동냠시아데 아니 뭐라고 숨용거라서
So generally, there could be three types of feelings that we experience: a pleasant feeling, an unpleasant feeling, or a neutral feeling, which is neither pleasant nor unpleasant.
제도다 동아스는 강조 하고 가래 난주니지 소소소발라 마데와다 강아 가르 초고에나 때 초아 동아래 아니 지 소소를 로보데 데보다 통보 어디지 용이니가 가래래 초아 대와 사 용거래 다 내도 공연 마용비 니가 살아 안에 초아들 가 자르고 그랬으나 안에 동양스 도시네 연구여라서
So we can all understand and relate to these type of feelings and sensations. Unpleasant feelings refers to unease, suffering, distress, and so forth. And pleasant feeling refers to healthy feelings, joyful feelings, sensations that you enjoy. And then neutral feeling refers to feelings that are neither in the nature of suffering nor in the nature of joy or happiness.
제도 대노지 진에 다단단 아주 류템만에서 간 차인 봐서 어때 다 대노시기 안에 초아템만에서 간도돼요 도시 진에 단단 간도돼노시 진에 갈리 간에
So as we have now already practiced mindfulness of body together, we will now continue to practice mindfulness of sensations or mindfulness of feelings.
Thoma ane tari di no chiba chene nganzo kare re se wae na ane semba di kare re se na ane ngogi te na shani ane kare re se na ngo indi gala ane chua kare ndu ta ane chua te la sim chua kare yo wae na te sengi sing te wan ra bozo chua dewa yo na da yona donga yo na da yona donya yo na da o te drig chua gogi re lo chua da ma kare yo na te la ane semba te ne o te kare re se na ane simbi go chua te wa te la kare re se na.
So then we will practice together, and now as we begin to meditate, we place our mind on the crown of our head and we look for any sensations, feelings, whether they are, we look for any kind of pleasant, unpleasant or neutral sensations or feelings, and if there is any kind of sensations, then we place our mindfulness on the experience of those sensations. So we will now begin to practice together by placing our mind on the crown of our head, looking for any kind of sensations, and placing our attention fully on those sensations.
That kale to chene ta sambango ni ma yo dombati ten la jane dombati la ani chi chwa kare do dombati ni gala chwa me dewa da bundu ye ni chi dominika chwa me dewa da bo yona domba sarolo ya da kare ye me to sta ni sambati ten la jane ti ni ga kare chwa kare chi to to chi ni sambati la te to chi ma yang gure sa.
Then we slowly move our attention towards our face. Look for any kind of particular sensations, irritation, itch, any kind of sensations that we might feel, and then we simply place our mindfulness on that sensation.
Teni kale ma yoni sembati an dembala teni debini gala ani chwa medewa kare do ta demano ni je medewa chwa da kare do on chwa da yo ina sembati la teni ani sembati ge ani chwa ti ngi ta da to so ko de sa.
Then slowly move your mind towards your neck and throat. See if there are any sensations, and then we place our mind on that sensation.
Tene tene kale maya semba de yon, kare sene nika la tene, ani nika la, ani ji yon, tsuwa kare yome ta, ani di ngun zi dogo che, ani semba de la de te ya, to shini sopo kare san.
And slowly move downwards toward your chest. Place your mind there. See if there are any sensations you feel. Then your mind should be placed totally on that sensation.
Tene nando samba te tene jalo tawal tene, ane jalo la, jiyan medewa tsuwa kare ndo, jalo yin na deya da, se deya da bodo, tuduki medewa tsuwa ndo ye, yana tsuwa dewa, ane ji kare ndo, ta singi tingu zi tawa je, samba te la tene, to jini deko kore san.
So then we slowly move our attention towards our back and check if there are any sensations of ache, pain, or even pleasant sensations. Now your mindfulness should be able to experience and hold that sensation.
Yine tene samba te nga zo pompa yin te la, jani pompa yin la medewa tsuwa dabo kare yin ta, o samba te la tene, ane tsuwa taba soko kare se a te che.
Then place your attention on your shoulders. Check for any sensations. Place your mindfulness on that sensation.
Tene kale samba te ma yang samba te tewa la tene, yang tewi ni tewa ki yin tawa la yang tsuwa dabo kare yin te samba te ngu si tawa che, samba te la te, to shini ga jaku kore san.
Then slowly move your attention towards your navel. See if there are any sensations that you feel around the area. Your mind must be able to apprehend and experience these sensations. And then simply place your mindfulness on that.
Tene kale ma yang samba te yang, la yin tawa la te, la yin la je medeba tsuwa kare yin te ngu si tawa dabo che, o to shini, ane samba te, la yin la te go kore se a te che.
And slowly move your attention towards your thighs. Check for any sensations. And your mind should be able to abide in that sensation.
Tene kale sambate ma komba lama te ene komba yen to ala yon me deve twa kare yon tingu ji to aje sambate gi chola tene to sinje go desu.
Then slowly move downwards towards your towards your feet. See if there are any sensations that you feel. Then place your mind on that particular sensation.
To si dabo chini senti tene kale komba ni ya lao sa la ni tewa ni nika ni ene pomba yen to jalu to ani demba ani tu chine ya domba tene ya yang ngola chola to chini samba ya tene tari litemani se gando dabo chini ti nika sa ne so kare yung tu ta te chowa tu ngi chi ta dabo seng ngi chi ta dabo so samba tela tene.
So then, as it is the case with mindfulness of body, we begin to now slowly move upwards, and our attention should also move from our feet to our thighs, from our thighs to our navel, from our navel to our chest, from our chest to our backs and shoulders, from our backs and shoulders to our face, and then finally from our face to the crown of our head. And in all of these, we should be able to recognize the sensations that we feel in each particular area and place our mindfulness on that sensation.
So
this is the manner in which we practice mindfulness of sensations.
So gambi nika sayong lute yang nyamde karesana gamde kenda pa jingo yoresi. Yina yung zonga dabo de lute ma nyasa divi nika se simbati lute na pe zongden dabo sha. So tempa nyasa ikibi nika se lu siya de la. Ani shajong sugara shodi yungo yorete yina yung simba zodi karesana so ting la ni kares zongden dabo jini shani. To jini ma kali yama gamde ya de la.
Even though it might be the experience in our meditation that when we practice mindfulness of body and sensations, that it might be the experience that you feel that both of these two appear hand in hand in meditation, but it is important to distinctly recognize that the object in both of these two cases are different. In the case of mindfulness, it is the appearance of each particular part of the body and its experience to the mind, and whereas in the mindfulness of sensations, it's not the appearance of the body part, but simply the experience of the sensations themselves, which is the object.
Oti sotea zugudo ta anan shi gilu timbanya shi gansi ya te igyo ane simdi kare suna temba di gilu tu sotea re soa timbanya ja siyon de simdi gi ini kare suna soa de ani la kare suna sintawa o tu chi ne ba gam jodon de bede o kanga tu chi ne ma chiba de ba jingu do asan.
So, with regards to how we practice and how the experiences shapes up in all of these different practices that we looked at, breath meditation, mindfulness of body, mindfulness of sensation, the common thread is that the attention or mindfulness should be able to experience the object. So in breath meditation, mindfulness must be able to experience all instances of the breath. And in the example of mindfulness of body, mindfulness must be able to experience, apprehend, and hold the appearance of each particular part of the body. And then similarly, with regards to mindfulness of sensation, mindfulness must be able to experience, apprehend, and hold each particular sensations as we move from each part of the body to the next.
다 도스라고 그래서 가서 대만제 제지노 뉴리 대만제 제지야도 안에 소아 대만제 제기 강동다고 도스레스 다들 가서 데라 컨디션 보테네 르르다고 니마타버리 티스 감다고 타와이나 안에 소소기 티스 선바데 르르다고 차야다고 안에 생기 나도디 뭐보시다 마요 선바 르르 파바다고지 선바디 티스
So this is the manner in which we can practice mindfulness of body and mindfulness of sensations. Now, if we are able to cultivate this as part of our part of our daily practice, then it can really be beneficial for us, in the sense that it can help us to overcome the discursive thoughts and emotions that we have, and in its place, through this practice, we can develop a sense of calm and peace in our lives.
어제도 드리진 만도고 그래서 안에 다는 시기지 나주 지소소 산래 남도당 지진자마다 뭐보지 샤데와이나 단당아서 고니 시대야 운중의 감 안에 선바디 올라데 오마 nga야동 야 동송냐 바 든득이 선바텔라 데니 엔티스 간다와로이나 난도 티스 뇽네도 와다 선바디 티스 르르퍼버 어투치네 용거에서.
So if you ever do find yourselves at times overwhelmed by incessant thoughts, or overwhelmed by a particularly strong emotion, and if you find yourself overwhelmed and troubled by your mental chatter, so to say, then you can always practice breath meditation.
Yeah.
So we'll break here and gather again in half an hour.